Friday. TGIF, everyone. We are studentloanjustice.org. We are the oldest, the largest, the first, and really the only true grassroots group. Like normal people. That's it. That's all we are. Fighting for student loan justice. So if you're new to the group, welcome. We have 1.4 million members, at least on paper. But we need more. There are 38 million people in the country who were never going to be able to repay their loans, even before the pandemic. The vast majority of those people will not resume paying on their student loans when they turn the loans back on in October. So we've got a lot of work to do, ladies and gentlemen. So again, if you're new to the group, welcome. Tell everyone you know about this group with student loans. If you know 5 people with student loans, 4 of them are freaking out about their student loans. They were never going to be able to pay, even before the pandemic. So we've got 1.4 million members on paper in our group. We should have way more than that, guys. Honestly, we should have 20, 25 million people. So spread the word, guys. As I said, we're only grassroots. That's all we are. But that's enough because people are normal, living, breathing human beings, people, you and me. I'm a student loan borrower, by the way. I'm a defaulted student loan borrower, as a matter of fact. We have learned over 18 very hard years that only normal people fighting is going to solve this problem. No one on the internet, including me, is going to solve this problem for you. You've got to get your hands a little muddy and a little bloody. So I've got a couple of announcements. Thanks to everyone. Well, I'm gonna cover that in a minute. But I will just stick to the basics as far as announcements go. If you will not be resuming paying on your student loans in October, which is most people, and if you're willing to be interviewed, which is maybe not quite so many people, let me know. PM me, hit me up on Facebook or Twitter, send me an email. You can see my contact info down below. And let me know, and I'll forward it along. We've got a couple of stories in national media that are brewing on this very important topic. Second announcement, I think I'll make this my last announcement. Please donate, ladies and gentlemen. As a grassroots group with nothing more than informal personal gifts as funding, you can imagine it can be very difficult to literally pay our, utility bills and stuff to keep this show on the road. We don't need much. We don't. Like maybe $3,000 a month or so, maybe a little bit more lately. Our email expense is pretty high. But if you can donate, please do it. So, for example, this week we need 18 people to donate $20. Hopefully by the end of Sunday for upcoming bills. So if you appreciate all that we've done, all that we're doing, most importantly, all that we are poised to get done, just please donate so I can shut up about it. And thanks to everybody who's been pitching in lately. It really helps. It makes all the difference. Oh, on that note, last thing, a restaurant worker in Boston, Paul W. I don't think he really minds if I use his name, but really good guy. He has been doing a recurring donation to us for the past years, like since I think 2018 or something like that. And he issued a challenge to all of you to similarly step up with a monthly recurring donation. So Paul donates $50 a month, which is huge. I mean, that's gigantic for us. I don't know that most people can do that, but whatever. Paul challenges you to do a monthly recurring donation. And really, it will help us in many, many ways, because the less I have to talk about fundraising, the more I can and think about it and do all that nonsense, the more we can think about the problem and actually fighting this battle. And the loans are going to be turned on in October, guys. It's going to be very ugly. We've got to fight as hard as we possibly can. There's 2 things we're fighting for: the return of bankruptcy rights to student loans. That is by far and away the most important thing that everyone needs, no matter what you want to see happen with your student loans, whether you want student loan cancellation, whether you want a break on interest, whether you want some other negotiated settlement, whatever you want to see happen with student loans, none of that will happen unless and until we get the leverage of bankruptcy return. Second thing we're fighting for is I said it. Loan cancellation by executive order. That whole concept started on this group, believe it or not. Before anybody was talking about canceling student loans by executive order, we started the petition at change.org/cancel student loans, calling on then President Trump to do this. And it wasn't maybe 6 months after that leading members of Congress took up the call and echoed it. So we're fighting for both of those things, guys. But like I said, this all comes down to bankruptcy. Whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy is not important, guys. Nobody wants to file. Few people should have to file. But we've got to get that leverage back on our side. Otherwise, we'll be begging Joe Biden or the next president forever to do nice things for us. And it will not happen, guys. It will not. So, anyways, if you have any questions or comments, and I can see them on Facebook and or Twitter, throw them up, and I'm very happy to respond to them in situ. I almost didn't do a live stream tonight. I was kind of tired, and we're in a rainstorm in northern Wisconsin, and I initially said that I was going to bag the live stream, but then I got to thinking about it, and I was like, what else are you going to do? Just do the live stream. There's some very important things going on right now, which is tonight's topic. I want to bring you guys through all the projects that we are working on right now. And if I forget any, because we've got probably a dozen different projects going on right now, if I forget any and you're watching, leave a comment so I can remember. So first and foremost, and you can see it scrolling below me, we are urging everyone right now to get into a meeting with your House representative, whether they're Republican or Democratic. We don't differentiate. We pretty much hate both parties, guys. I'm just going to say, if you're new to the group, we are firstly non-partisan group. All we care about is solving the student loan problem. That's all we care about. So whatever your political stripes are, you are very welcome here. And by the way, 70% of all student loan borrowers are Republican or independent. That's true. So don't believe the nonsense you see in the media about all student loan borrowers being these young, professional, elitist, liberal, snowflake, entitled, whatever. That's complete bullshit. Most people with student loans are over the age of 35. Most people with student loans are, as I said, either Republican or independent. And millions of them went to trade schools, vocational schools, community colleges. All of them, 100% of them, were determined to be financially needy as a prerequisite for getting certainly the federal student loans in the first place. So what is most important and what is the most efficient, effective use of your time? As I said, this whole thing comes down to bankruptcy. We've got to convince the House of Representatives to pass a meaningful bankruptcy bill. We came very close last session to get bankruptcy passed, both in the Senate and in the House. It's going to be more difficult this year because, as I said, we're a nonpartisan group, but historically the Republicans have opposed us on this. But I think that is waning, guys. And I think because of this group, Republicans are taking a very fresh look at the student loan issue, but more in particular, the bankruptcy issue. So last session, for example, we had John Cornyn, Josh Hawley, Matt Gaetz, a Republican, John Katko, and a couple other members of Congress who were supporting our legislation. We've got to build on that, but with the whole House of Representatives, not just the Republicans. Because, guys, I'm here to tell you, nothing is as it seems. This is not a partisan issue. And quite frankly, both Democrats and Republicans are kind of secretly against us, ladies and gentlemen, on the bankruptcy issue. And that's a longer story. I'm not going to bore you with the details. But this is the most important project that we have going right now. You need to get us into a meeting with your House representative. Tell them we want to talk about bankruptcy. Bring me into the meeting, or maybe we can have your state chapter leader step in and do all the talking. One way or the other, we will do all the talking if we have to. I know a lot of people aren't super comfortable making this argument. We, on this group, especially at least the diehards, we are very comfortable making the argument for the return of constitutionally enshrined bankruptcy rights to student loans. And we make an exceptionally strong argument, quite frankly, for Republicans. It should be an easier sell with Democrats because the Democratic Party has returning bankruptcy to student loans in their party platform. So it shouldn't be hard with the Democrats, although between you and me, the reality is that it is. There's kind of an invisible cloak, an invisible hand that that encompasses both parties. It's kind of the uniparty thing that is fighting very hard behind the scenes to keep bankruptcy gone from these loans. It's their kryptonite. It's the student loan swamp's kryptonite. It's a good reason the founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy laws, aka rights, in the Constitution. So, and this is it. So guys, we need your help. This problem will not be solved if you sit there and wait and watch and worry and assume that somebody else is going to do your work for you. These are your loans. Your livelihood hangs in the balance, and the loans will be turned back on in October. And it could be, if we don't at least have the leverage of bankruptcy in our back pocket, as it exists for all other loans, all other borrowers, ladies and gentlemen, this could get extremely ugly. It could be a bloodbath. I mean, literally, blood could be shed. We've already seen more suicides than I even care to talk about. But guys, it could get very dystopian if we don't get bankruptcy back by October 1st. And so that's our number one goal. It supersedes all others. And it should be very easy, guys. With 1.4 million members in the group, we should be able to meet with every member of Congress 10,000 times. Maybe not that much, but like 1,000 times over. But guys, I'm telling you, I mean, so far, this year, I want to say we've met with probably 30 or 40 members of Congress. We need to meet with all 535 at least once. So we're trying to make this easy for you. If you just simply call them as a constituent, you can do this. You can. Call them, tell them you want a meeting with their judiciary staffers. You want to discuss bankruptcy. You want to bring in someone from studentloanjustice.org. There's our contact information right down there. As a constituent, they should honor your request. So we might not get a phone call with the actual member of Congress, and that's fine. We don't really care. Talking to their staffers is just as good. So you have to make that happen. We're trying to make it easy for you. So if you set them up, we will come in and knock them down if we have to. We can do all the talking if we have to. If you feel comfortable doing it, then have at it. Do it yourself. But if you don't, which most people don't, bring us in. We can do this. We're very good at this. It's what we're here for. So that's the most important project that we have going on right now. But, there's so many others. We are working with change.org right now. I can't tell you everything about this, but I can tell you that if you go to Twitter and you type in hashtag, what's your number, you can see a whole bunch of red graphics where people are posting what their student loan debt number is, plus a few words that they add below. We're asking everyone to make a similar graphic for themselves on Twitter and spread it all over. It doesn't have to be on Twitter. It can be anywhere. I think Instagram and Twitter were the two places that the change.org team would really like to see them. And just please do this. Just please do it. There's some other things that we're working on with the change team. And by the way, my hats are off to the change team. So if you go to our petition, change.org/cancel student loans, it would be, you would do well to read that petition. That is the thing that started the whole conversation about student loan cancellation. But more to the point, we think we can get that petition up to 25, maybe even 30 million signatures, realistically. And now is the time for us to be doing that. So this is kind of a plug for change.org, but, obviously sign the petition if you have not. Read the petition, number one, but sign it, absolutely. But beyond that, I would say, you can pitch in a couple of dollars to change.org. We don't get any of the money. you can pitch in like, I think $20, and you can get that petition viewed like more times, like 500 times or something like that. It's a marketing thing. So you can boost the visibility of that petition by paying change.org some money. I think it's well worth doing, guys. And in fact, I think it was probably 300 or 400 of our members way back in March, April 2020 who were doing these paid promotions. And it really lit a fire, guys. It really sparked something. And within about a couple of months, we had 500,000 signatures. We were being interviewed on Fox News and Newsweek and ABC and all the major mainstream media. That was where the whole loan cancellation thing started, guys. So we've got a lot to be proud of, although obviously we're very disappointed about the Supreme Court case, which was, the whole thing was stupid in the first place. I'm not going to go on too long about this, but Joe Biden never wanted to cancel student loans. The Democrats many establishment Democrats never wanted that thing to happen. And people like Nancy Pelosi, and quite frankly, I think Joe Biden as well, they were pleased that it was true. So I'm looking for your questions and comments now. Another project that we're working on, I'm not going to be able to get through all of our projects, I don't think. I'll just mention the major big ones. But another major project that we're working on is we're asking everyone to get a letter to the editor of your newspaper published. And we've already gotten probably 60 of those letters to the editor published. So if you Google like student loans, letter to the editor, and like bankruptcy or something, you can probably see a whole bunch that talk about the need to return bankruptcy rights to student loans all across the country, particularly in Texas. Thanks to people like Jackie Abron, she totally nailed it in Texas. But also Aaron Root in Texas, I should say as well. But yeah, no, that's all started with us, guys, and those cumulatively can make a huge difference. And let me just say, guys, there's true strength in numbers. And we, at least on paper, we have those numbers. We have a muscle like a fucking nuclear bomb type strength to flex when we choose to flex it. You know, I talk about doing our daily actions all the time, and let me dial that in for you. We do daily actions nearly every day, and that's kind of an ongoing project, so I guess that counts. And you can see our daily actions. You can just go to our website is the easiest way. Just go to our website, look up daily actions right there. You can also go to that bit.ly link right down there. Can you imagine if even 10%, 1 out of 10 of our members were doing our daily actions like every day? That'd be 140,000 people a day, overwhelming the phone lines in Congress, overwhelming flooding the Twitter accounts of everyone who we target. The daily actions are quick, guys. They're quick, and I think they're fun. And I would say they're educational, because that's the primary thing that we do on this group is spread truth, well-researched, easily proven, easily verified and vetted truth about student loans. And, you know, they say a lie can go around the world 5 times before the truth gets its pants on in the morning. That is very true with student loans, guys. Truth is a stubborn thing, but it's a very hard thing to spread when bad people 10 times, 25, 35, 50 times more are flooding the zeitgeist with untruth. Like that student loan cancellation will unduly benefit the wealthy, or student loan cancellation will cause inflation, or any number of lies that have been, and even far more subtle than that. Just other, like 95% of the media that you see is essentially against us. So we need you helping to spread the truth. We've got a nuclear muscle to flex. And if you were only doing the daily actions every day, if 10% of our members were doing our daily actions, your problem would be solved within a few months. Nobody's seen 140,000 retweets on a tweet before. No congressman has ever gotten 140,000 calls in one day. That's never happened. we would be making history. So think about that. I mean, when 10 or 15 people are doing our stuff a day, we don't get anything done. If 30 or 40 people are doing our stuff every day, we get a little bit done. If 300 or 400 people are doing our stuff every day, we're making pretty good progress. But guys, I'm telling you, if 30 or 40,000 people a day were doing our stuff, we'd have this problem licked. We absolutely would, guys. Student loans would become a thing of the past. They would have to cancel loans very broadly, very meaningfully, very deeply. So right now we're not there, guys. Right now we're above 10 to 15. We're above 30 to 40, but we're not even really broken into the 300 to 400 people a day thing yet. And I think that's probably where we need to be to really start having a quicker impact. Time is of the essence now, guys. Remember, these loans are turned back on October 1st. So those are the major projects. I'm looking for your questions and comments right now, by the way. Lisa Ansel in California, who has gotten multiple op-eds published in places like the San Francisco Chronicle, Los Angeles Times, and also letters to the editor in Los Angeles Times, the Jewish Journal, other places. She asks, what has everyone done today to advocate for the cause? Don't say nothing. Right? If you want to answer that question, I hope that you do. At least just go do our daily actions real quick. Do one daily action. It'll probably take you about 45 seconds if you have Twitter. So do that and say, I did the daily action. So you can at least do that. Jackie Abron says, we've met with all of my reps. That's true. In Texas, we have. We've met with Jackie's reps. We've met with both senators in Texas, and we hope to meet with them many more times because Texas is a terrible state on student loan debt. The people of Texas owe $141 billion in student loan debt. The entire state budget of the state of Texas is only $125 billion. Ted Cruz is a really bad guy on this issue. We've got to change his mind. John Cornyn is actually a really good guy in the Senate in Texas on this issue. He's a good guy. Both of them are Republicans. So we have made some great strides in Texas, but we need to do way more, guys. If they don't hear us, they won't feel us. And they're not going to hear us unless you are using your voice, whether it's in Texas or Maine or Alaska or Kansas or Florida or no matter where you may be. I can guarantee you that nobody's going to pull your weight for you. So there's some other projects that we're thinking about. We thankfully have the SLJ van now, and unfortunately, the SLJ van is currently in my garage. I've got to replace the head gasket, and I've got to change a belt as well. But knock on wood, we would like to travel the country starting probably towards the end of summer, like around September 1st, September, October. I was hoping that we'd be able to make the Iowa State Fair, but that is probably not going to happen, unfortunately. I don't think our schedule is going to allow it. But thankfully, Iowa is not nearly the important state that it was 4 years ago. We actually lived in Iowa 4 years ago, so that's not going to happen now. But we do definitely still want to go through Iowa because it still is a very important state. But other states like South Carolina, and again, I would say Texas, Georgia, I would probably say Michigan, maybe here in Wisconsin, we're kind of a battleground state, Arizona, Nevada. We would like to take a nationwide trip and do some very serious other projects in very high visibility projects to spread the word and change the narrative to the truth about student loans in all these very important states. And so that's something that we're kind of thinking of. We're open to any ideas you might have on that. If you'd like to host us, no matter where you are in the country, if we can come up with a cool thing to do, and I don't know if it'll be an event, a meeting, maybe a news thing, a media thing, whatever the case may be. Maybe speak at a college or do a rally. I don't know. We're very open to any and all of those things, guys. It all helps. It all matters. So if you can't tell, this is a working, fighting group. And we need you actually helping and working and fighting on this group to get things done. And I think Lisa and Jackie and, all of the hundreds, I'd say probably, I'd say thousands of people who actually are doing significant work will tell you that it feels very good to fight this fight, because we have the founding fathers on our side. Don't forget that. We've got 38 million people who are losing sleep over their student loans, half of whom are leaning to the right, half of whom lean to the left, about an even split between Republicans and Democrats. Although it's true that 70% of all borrowers are either Republican or independent. So there is a huge universe of very creative, very clever, very impactful, effective, and that's the key thing, guys. It's got to be worth the trip. It's got to be effective. But there are a million very effective things that we can do. And we can't think of them all, guys. We have smart people on this group. I know we do. And we need you to step up and own this problem, because we've seen what Washington, D.C. is going to do for us. If you sit back and you wait and you wonder and you watch and you worry and you wring your hands and you wonder, what are they going to do? Well, I'll tell you what they are going to do. They are going to do what they have been doing for the past 18 years, including the past 3.5 years, which is cancel a tiny amount of student loans and drips and drabs here and there. Doesn't do anything for you. Promise to do much and actually do nothing. The Democrats didn't even pass bankruptcy last session when they had control of the House, Senate, and the presidency. What they are going to do if you sit there and do fuck all, meaning fuck nothing, if you sit there and wonder what they're going to do and you don't get off your ass, they are going to perpetuate this unconstitutional loan scam for as long as they can on your ass. They are going to put their own kids through college for free on your ass. They are going to buy second and third homes thanks to you. That's what they are going to do with student loans if we let them. Well, I'm asking you to join us. Don't let them. So, there's literally 3 or 4 other projects I'd like to go through, but I'm trying to keep my live stream short, guys. Lisa says, I will reach out to Colin Allred. Good guy to reach out to. Whether they're Republicans, Democrats, young or old, freshman, senior, congressman, we will talk to any and all members of the House of Representatives. We'll talk to all the senators too, although I think we've done a pretty good job with many senators up to this point. But we're focusing on the House of Representatives right now. So if you forget everything I said tonight, remember at least look down, look what's scrolling by, and do that. So, okay, guys, I can't get through all your questions tonight. I apologize for that. I will look at your questions after the fact and respond to any and all. This is the time when everything matters, guys. The spotlight is off. This is when the student loan swamp does their best and worst for us work. This is where they pull all their little tricks and traps. This is where we need to be doubling, tripling, quadrupling down. As I said, 30, 40 people a day, not going to do it for us. 300, 400, that's a little better. 3,000, 4,000, okay, now we're really talking about something. 300, 400,000 a day, that's when we really win. And it absolutely starts with you. With you sitting there. We're bending over backwards. We're trying to make it easy for you. I think the least you can do for yourself and for this country is to do your part. So I'll be back on Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Take heart. We got this. There is true strength in numbers. Let's make that a reality. I'll see you on Sunday. Good luck. Godspeed. Doing our daily actions and all that other stuff I said. God bless everyone.